Live from Coca Vision, Chapo's Tunnel. Me and my sister Remy Ma. She is the greatest out. Her new single,
Melanin Magic.
Melanin Magic is dropping. This right here, Coca Vision, only on TIDAL. 3 months free. You can subscribe. Subscribe is the key to this here right here. Get 3 months free. Peace to the people of TIDAL. Pick It Up is the video featuring Dre of Cool and Dre. The album's gonna be ridiculous. The album's called Family Ties. Let's get it.
Always fly, I stay in the cockpit. I want it, I cop it. Open the door.
Drug tunnels under the border. Mexican cartels have dug them to funnel their product into our country.
Whenever you're in Dubai, we have a zoo in the house. We got tigers called Tiger and Kylie.
Yeah, what up, y'all? This your boy Joe Crack, Coca the Dawn. Welcome to Coca Vision. We in that El Chapo Tunnel coming from motherfucking Mexico to Texas. You know what it is. Live exclusively, only right here on TIDAL. You can get TIDAL 3 months free. Subscribe to TIDAL and get the 3 motherfucking months free. All right, well, no introduction is needed. This is my sister, Remy Ma, the queen, Reminisce Mackie.
Yeah, what up?
Yo, what's up, man? You think that's cool? You pull up on me like that?
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, be clear, this was not planned. I just, I found out where he was gonna be today. I have been kind of track him down. So, cause I still look to him for advice and I want his approval on certain things, but he's just so lit and is so busy. I had to call his director to find out he was doing a podcast, and then I just popped up, and then,
she walked in the door, said,
he was like, "Oh, my sis, I'm gonna interview her." Like, no makeup, ladies and gentlemen. No, I don't even
This is Pretty Brown.
I don't even got no chapstick.
This
nothing.
is Pretty Brown.
This
This
is
is
melanin magic going on.
Melanin Magic, nigga. I seen the video. Let's be clear, I'm the executive producer of Remy's album. I shout out to Dallas Austin. He produced the next single featuring Chris Brown. Shout out to Pat Poose, cause me and him chased that nigga Chris Brown down in LA.
Did.
And shout out to Ant, and I seen the video. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I don't really want to talk about the video or no music or nothing like that.
Okay,
I want to talk about. I want to talk about you. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Castle Hill Project, doing 7 years in jail. First of all, I want to get you in jail, right?
Okay.
When you in jail and they put you in the real jail.
Yeah, I was in prison.
You was in prison. You wasn't Fat Joe, couple of cheesesteaks, I'm out of there. You was with killers.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Did it ever, I know you're the toughest chick in the world. I've seen you knock out a bunch of chicks formerly, right? Before the black love. Now she loves them. Do you love every chick you dragged before because of black love?
No, I'm on my card.
You still hate them bitches. It's for
forever,
life.
It's forever.
Jesus Christ. You know, Remy boy, a lot of the trouble you used to hear Fat Joe getting into was this battery in the back. I don't know how to explain it to you. She would not let us leave unless we wash niggas. It's all her fault. Now it's black love.
Now it's black love.
So you in jail and you were killers,
Yeah,
right? And they know you Remy Ma.
Yes.
How did you handle yourself? Did you go in there on some, what?
I was the same person that I always am. And I think that's what I love about me. And I think that's what my fans love about me. Whether you meet me at a concert backstage, whether you run into me when I'm on one of my, excursions at Home Depot doing some home improvement shit, or you happen to be in the mess hall with me in prison. Like, I'm always the same
you
person.
had a masked murderer chick that you ain't like, that you was telling me, you be like, oh my God, this bitch is what.
Nah, it was. I mean, everybody have people that.
But a
don't like.
masked murderer. Let's be clear.
But
She had how many years?
Life, but we
The
all
girl-
here. Like at the end of the day, what you gonna do? It's a different ball game when you're in prison. Like it's not like somebody has a gun and you don't, or they got they whole crew and you like at the end of everything. Like what you want to do? What we doing? That's my question. What are we doing? What are we doing? You don't like I had a chick come in. She's like, I feel like. Do we got a problem or something? I'm looking at her like, we have a problem. Like, I don't like you and I think you dumb Uggs, but I wouldn't classify it as a problem. But what we doing? Where we going from here? And we ended up getting into it. But that's just part of the environment. I think people expect certain things from you, and when you, especially with this industry.
Because you hear, especially when you go state. You hear of a lot of our rappers that we love to death getting sunk in jail. I've been hearing that for years.
But first of all,
yo, sing to my girl, nigga. Sing to my girl on the phone. No, sing to my girl, nigga. You heard those rumors before.
I've heard them. But that happens when you a different person than who you are. Like, I'm always the same person. I'm not saying I'm the unbeatable, biggest, hardest person in the world, but I'm not gonna let nobody punk me. That's number one. And I talk to everybody the same way. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna talk to you like this because I'm bigger than you. I feel like I could beat you. I usually pick the biggest one or the person that everybody feels is untouchable, and I want a problem with you because I feel like you wouldn't do that to me. I feel like it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Like that's me. I get accused, strangely, I get accused of being a bully. However, my whole life, I was the person that was fighting the bullies. Like,
always,
my mom used to come to school and be like, they'd be like, yo, you gotta come pick her up. And they'd be like, we understand that was her cousin that she was fighting for. My mother's like, she doesn't have any cousins. Like, that used to be like my line. Like, I see somebody doing something to somebody.
This the only
thing. That's my cousin.
This is the only thing I'm gonna say. This is the only thing I'm gonna say about your recent rap beef. When it went down, I felt like you dragged into the prison yard. Felt like you dragged her. Like she must have been like, oh my God, we're in the prison yard. Like how did I end up from hanging out with Katy Perry to being in the prison yard? Like you took it to a different, that's how I felt. That was the way I could describe it. If I was writing a book like poetry, I was like, this girl dragged it into the prison yard.
You're crazy. If I was writing a book like, well, I mean, I just feel like I try to explain to people. I don't know how to do an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. It's like an eye for your whole head, a tooth for your torso. Like I don't feel like I don't know how to do a little bit. I either do too much or not enough. But I'm the type of person who's so crazy. I don't go around looking for beefs. I don't go around looking like I actually like chilling. I love when I'm just chilling.
Let's go back to something that you told me that was so scary. When Pun passed, I always say when Pun passed, my sister was giving birth, she passed, my grandfather passed, I got in depression. And you was around me at that time, but I ain't really tell people at the time, but I was going to a psychiatrist, right? And I would go every week to meet this woman, and when I would go, it would just, I'd be the only guy, and there was nothing but women out there going to see the psychiatrist. So one day I asked the psychiatrist, I said, Miss such and such, like, why is there so much women here? So she was telling me, these women, they get with the men, they in love, and most of these men are rich, but they be going out of town on business. They think they cheat on them. They think they and they going through it, so they need some psychiatric help. The shit you told me was that when you was in jail, most of the girls that was in there for murder was in there for killing their man. Elaborate, please.
I mean, there was a lot of women that were in there for
beautiful women.
Yeah, for
never been to jail before, stabbing a nigga to death.
A lot of it was domestic violence where they just got fed up, or a situation where the guy was trying to leave and be with somebody else, and they felt like they couldn't go on with life if he wasn't with them. Like it's sad, and a lot of women as well was in there for killing their children. And
like it was a mental what that shit
it was more
midlife crisis.
It was more than 5 women that the reasoning, you know, on paperwork or
I
whatever
think
they
that's
said
the girl
before,
you hated.
that they killed their children for was because the guy left them. Like it was like payback, like crazy stuff. They're crazy, and it's weird because they'll put you in prison knowing you got a year, 5 years, 7, 8 years with somebody that has life without parole. So like you in there.
They're trying to trap you up.
Like,
Because even if
absolutely.
you defend yourself, now you got
Oh,
12
no,
to 16.
no, you got another case. Immediate 7 years. Like, that's the minimum for catching another case.
I'm going to ask you something because right now I'm a journalist. So, you know, in order for Fat Joe to do Coca Vision,
Right.
I got to ask you some real shit.
What's up?
How's it like being with your husband all the time? Like, everyone loves him. He's the champion. But do you ever feel like you with him too much?
No. I love it. You know, I mean, it depends on what your relationship with your husband is like. Some people are in relationships for a reason. So if you with somebody because they popping or because they got money or because whatever the case is, there's a reason besides the fact that you love them and you're in love with them and you want to be with them, yeah, it's gonna feel like too much at sometimes. Because you like, I need a break. Like I gotta get away from this. Like, or when you with somebody and that reason that you was with them for is gone. Like they're not as hot as they was when you met them, or they don't have as much money as they had when you first met them, or just whatever the case may have been. The dick is not as crazy as it was when you first got it. Now you're used to it, so now it's like, whatever. Yeah, it's gonna get on your nerves. But when you have somebody that you genuinely love, like I really genuinely love my husband. I love being with him. There was a long period of time where I couldn't be with him, no matter what I wanted to do. Like, so in a way, me being in prison and me being taken away from him, only being able to see him for a couple of hours, it makes you appreciate the times when you get to have him. He just sitting right there. Like, it's times where he get on my nerves because that's just a relationship. It's times where we're gonna have disagreements. But whenever it get real bad, I just remember those times where I wish he could have been. You know how many times I was locked up and I was sick as a dog, and just wishing you just want somebody to be nothing. Or it's Christmas, or it's Thanksgiving, or it's a New Year, it's my birthday, it's an anniversary, and I want to spend the whole day with him, and I can only be with him for a couple of hours across a table where it's cold and get food from the vending machine.
Could you tell people he ain't got no problem with his head because he always wear the hat?
So let me tell people this. Like the craziest thing is, I think it started like as a joke. Like that's just
Yo,
his
Pat,
thing.
I love you to death, my brother. You
Like,
my brother, man.
That's just
Stop.
his
Don't
thing.
do that. Don't
he
do that,
likes
Pat.
wearing hats. So when people like, you
Do
know,
we
go
have
on-
sex with a hat on?
No, he does not.
You sure?
I will smack you, Joe.
No, I'm
Yes,
saying,
positive.
like, are you sure this nigga
Like,
know?
it's-
I picture him with a hat
It's
on.
funny to me because I see him all the time without a hat. So when I meet people like, oh my God, he doesn't take this hat off. It's just like, that's just like his thing. You know, some people, they have like their thing of what they like to wear. Like his thing, he just likes hats. Like he has like a collection of mad different hats. Like that's his swag. Like he feels like his outfit is not complete without the perfect matching hat. Like,
So now, not to elaborate, me and you had a fallout. Me and Pap had a situation. How do you feel about that? When they came back to you and they said, Joe and Pap met up, what you thought when you got the phone
you want to
call?
know the truth or you want me
I want to know
lie?
the truth. I don't want you to lie.
Okay, so first of all,
I don't want to go into deep,
no,
but
no,
I
we're not
want to
gonna go
know
into
how
detail.
you felt
But
when you
listen,
heard that.
First of all, before, I think whatever y'all state y'all was in Atlanta, y'all was somewhere,
Somewhere,
wherever y'all was
Virginia or
at,
something.
I knew that y'all was both gonna be in the same place. So I was telling him like, yo, let me go. Like I wanna go. He like, nah, it ain't gonna be nothing. And I'm like, yo, because I know who I'm dealing with. I'm like, he really wanna beat me up, but he can't because I'm his little sister. So he's gonna try to take it out on somebody that he thinks I care about, which would be you. Like, just let me go.
So you know this.
So yeah, because that's my favorite thing. Like Joe used to give me mad. She's like, really? All right. And I try to think about people that he cared about, like an assistant or something. Like, I was just assistant coming, I'm washing her. Like, so I already knew like what it was. So when it came back and I was like, and they actually told me that it was an actual altercation, I was just like, wait. So now I'm trying to see who was there. So now I'm describing like, was there somebody with bald head with glasses? Was there somebody with braids? So I'm trying to figure out all who was there because they don't know. I'm like, oh my God, he would have never did that if I was there. Like, I just feel like if I was there, it would have never went that way because we have our fallouts, but when we see each other, you can't really be mad at. He's like one of those people that you can't be mad at when you're sitting there.
I'm gonna tell you something. Do you know how much we love you? Do you know why that happened? Is because we love you so much.
You know what's so crazy? I tell people that all the time. Now they tag team wrestle me. When Joe has a problem or he disagrees with something I do, he calls Papoose.
But you know when
And when
you
Pat
came
has a
home,
problem, he
I
calls
start hanging out.
fucking Joe. Like, I be tight, like, why are you calling him? Who does that to their wife?
He snitch on you.
Joe calls me like, so sis, what's going on? How's your day going? I be like, oh, nothing, I'm chilling. So, anything you want to tell me? I just be like this, looking at him. All of a sudden, Pap is doing weird shit like hanging coats up. This nigga don't never hang up a jacket ever. This nigga over here putting clothes in the closet, like, get the fuck out of here. But I think what I learned from all of that is what you was just saying. Like, I really.
You figured that out, right?
How much you really love me and how much, like, do you know how he used to, he was like the cock blocking king, this guy. Like, I couldn't smoke weed in front of nobody. Like, that was his thing. My girl rappers should not smoke weed. I think it's very unladylike. I used to have to hide to smoke weed. And I couldn't talk to nobody, like, at all, period. Like, no matter who they was.
I don't know how to, I pressed him when like later on, I was like, yo, how you got to her? And I was blocking her so fucking hard, my nigga.
So
I
bad.
asked him this one-on-one, like, yo, how? For one day I started thinking, I was like, how did he catch her? Like I was fucking blocking you so hard. I was wondering, how does nigga catch you? Like, I was like,
Real bad.
you know, when he made you his girl, I was like, this nigga got, now don't he notice the infamous terror squad? The balls on this guy.
Now that you've seen, are you proud of the person that I picked?
Yo, let me tell you something. You better than 100% of the women out there. Like, you know, you got a man that, you know, he's a man's man. He loves you so much. You can't get that. Like, it's impossible for a woman to get a man to come visit them, to love them so much. I don't want to keep talking about the same shit, everybody. I'm telling you how much he loves you, how much he loves your son, how much he loves everything about you. And that's pretty much.
He loves you, for
yeah, but
crying
that's
out loud.
suicidal,
Like,
though.
He loves Fat Joe. Like, he feels like, yo, that's my brother.
Yo, this nigga is like, he's the perfect specimen of a husband.
But I try to tell people, a lot of times I try to tell people when they think, you know, I be, you know, sometimes you look at comments or you look at certain things that people put out there. And I'm like, yo, if people knew, like, what, I am so happy and so content with the way my life is and the way everything is structured. Like, I wouldn't change anything for any other type of situation. Like, sometimes people think, like, it's all about money and it's about fame and it's about, like, I have money and I have fame, but what I have in my personal life, yo, it's that just waking up and knowing that you have, like, if everything, all the materialistic shit was just poof and be gone. You got somebody that's just gonna be like this, all right, fuck it, we here, this is what we doing. Like, to know that you have that, like, that shit trumps everything. And it actually makes the good stuff better.
That's why, you know, when I met Lordy, my wife, you know, I had a motherfucking mattress. All I had was a mattress. When I broke up with Ryan's moms, although she's a good person, she took the whole house. All I had was a mattress and a boombox. So when I met Lordy and I felt like she was the most beautiful chick in the world and I had to bring her to my crib in fucking Throsneck, at that I didn't have a key. So I would have to climb in through the front window, step on the bush. You've been in my crib and step on the bush and climb in through the window. And when she rocked out with me and all I had was a mattress, you know she with you for real. So that's why we never changed up temperatures. Cause I was like, nah, this bitch with me for real. She got my back. You know what I'm saying? And you can't replace that.
Yeah, right. Because
somebody who rides.
You have people, like I said earlier, you have people that are with you for reasons. When you're with somebody for a reason, that shit don't work out or shit go left, that person's gonna be gone. And a lot of times, some people don't care. I didn't care at one point. I had people around me that I knew were my friends, that I knew if something happens, they gonna run, they gonna leave, they might tell, like, we all do this. And you be like, ah, fuck it, you just let them rock out until something happens. Then you feel like the biggest fucking idiot on the planet because you knew from day one that they wasn't for you.
Let me tell you something. This nigga Percy, right? We used to call him Diddy of Harlem. I couldn't ride in this car without 10 niggas on every block Yo, did they? Yo, you know when you with persons like he's a celebrity, dip fresh every day, they act like they love him. He caught the murder case. I was all the way in Dubai doing tours. His wife was there. The nigga he allegedly killed, which he didn't, right? Had 300 people. I don't know how a gangster nigga who's a gangster has 300 people avenging his death in court. Like, yo, you go to jail. They should just meet in the street. But that's cool. That's another conversation. So Percy's wife goes to court and she calls me in Dubai and she says, yo, Joe, I went to court today and I was alone. So now I call any nigga that ever knew Terror Squad in their life, my aunts, my uncle, everybody. Y'all niggas better get in that motherfucking courtroom tomorrow. The next day, it was standing room only. 500 people in there by his wife. Now, what was crazy is he won the case. Thank God for that. Thank God he won the case. Shout out Don Florio, right? Attorney at law. He won the case, and I couldn't imagine, not even you, I couldn't even imagine a nigga praying so hard every day because he about to go to jail for life for a murder. To come out here and pretend like these niggas ain't front on him and ain't show up at court. I would be very different. So I be telling Percy, like, yo, Perce, don't believe these niggas because they ain't show up when it was time. When I caught my little case, my little tax case, I saw who really was with me, who really wasn't. Now, I'm not going to get lit and start hanging with these niggas again. Right. You get what I'm saying?
I'm the same way.
Yeah, so I'm
you
like,
see me with? When I'm
chopping block. You can't, let me tell you something, my people. You cannot hang out with people that ain't really in your corner. And you're lying to yourself if you hanging out with niggas that ain't real and ain't really with you, even if they're your family members. If they just using you for financial gain or whatever, you can't really rock with these niggas. And sometimes in life, we got to make the hardest decisions.
What they do is they try to make you feel bad. They make you feel like,
you the queen curver. Like you taught me that when you came home, you was better than I could ever be. Yeah. I was like, yo, you was like, fuck that. Niggas got, matter of fact, let me get a new number because you're talking on the subject. Because somebody caught it. Let me get a new, like.
I feel like this. God showed me, literally showed me for 7 winters and 6 summers. He showed me who's there for me. They like nobody before. Everybody in the world, yo, you're my sister, you're my world. I love you. We're like family. I'll do anything for you. You could tell me that because there was you never had to prove it. When it was time to show and prove, I saw what people was really made out of. So now that I came home and somehow, by the grace of God, managed to, make something from dirt again. You think I'm gonna let you sing me that same lullaby? Like, fuck out of it. And I have no problem. Like, I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not talking nice. I'm not like, oh, nah, niggas be like, yo, I got it and I'm not giving it to you. Like, before, you be like, nah, I don't got it. I got it. I'm not giving it to you, though. Who would you have called 3 years ago today? You wouldn't have been able to call me. I didn't even have a fucking number to reach you.
I want to say sorry that me and you fell out and I was so stubborn and you were stubborn. Because I honestly believe I'm not God, but you wouldn't have got as much time because I would have told you to do the right thing. For one, my opinion. Number 2 is I should have been even bit. I changed a lot. You know that. You obviously know I'm a much more mature guy, and it hurt me that I couldn't be there for you like I was because I was an asshole for being so stubborn. You understand what I'm saying? So I wish I could really be part of the backpacker saying with Pat, yo, we was riding up together every week. We was going to see you because I love you and I wish I fucked up. We were stubborn.
But look, when I called you, right? Like, ladies and gentlemen, I called him. Like, we are both the most fucking hold a grudge forever, stubborn. I hope your fucking dog gets hit by a fucking car, push your baby stroller in front of a moving vehicle. Like, I don't care if your grandmother has Alzheimer's, tell that bitch suck my dick too. This is both of us. Like seriously.
Hypothetically said.
Pieces of shit, okay? When it comes to yeah. So when I was sitting in there, like, and I reached out, I had to go through, the motions to get his number and call him. Dude, that was probably one of the hardest calls that I had to make. One, because I know him. Two, he knows me. So at the same time, I'm sure he's like, this bitch is probably trying to call me to fucking do one last cursing out before she comes home. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But I also know that I had my wild card. So I had my wild card. Y'all want to know what my wild card? Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, this is my brother. I've known this man since I was in high school. My wild card was like, if he say any fucking thing slick or try to give me any type of fucking resistance, nigga, you are cool with 50 cents. If you dare try to say anything to me, like that was my, like, I didn't tell him that, but in my back pocket, it was like sticking out just a little bit. As soon as I got any resistance, but we're on the phone, I'm like, I miss you, I love you, I'm coming home soon, I don't want to have no
How much you
bad
love
blood.
me, baby? Tell the people, man.
I love him so much that people in my family, literally, that we have the same blood running through my veins, that I feel like we fell out over whatever, I've never called them and reached out to them and apologized to them. Not because I don't feel like I was wrong or not because I feel like they don't do it, but it's just, that's just not something that I wanted to do. Like, I felt like this relationship that I had, it was something that I cherished and that I wanted to fix. And sometimes when you have a split with people, it's hard for you guys to ever get back to where you were because the shit done went so left. This shit went left with us. And I feel like now our relationship is stronger than it was before because we both know how it is where it went left. Correct me if I'm wrong. And anytime I think I'm about to do something that might cause a problem, I'll call him like, listen, this is how I feel. Like, we talk and we communicate a little bit more.
Yeah, we probably used to hide it more before. Now when I got a
it's
problem,
little
I
tough.
sit you down and be like, yo, Rem, this is how I feel. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to argue with you. And then you be like, all right, listen, that ain't even a problem.
Right.
This is how we going to go about this.
And that's how if people communicated more, it would be so much less problems. I think a lot of the problems that's something that I think we both had growing up. We was raised fucked up. We both was raised in the Bronx on different sides of town.
But
He was
fucked
a guy,
up.
but fucked
Tell them
up.
could we do that or no?
Yo,
could we
can.
elaborate?
We can.
When you grew up, how was like your household with your
First of
parents and
all,
all that? I know the story, but
first
you
of all-
inspiring the little girls out there. Trust me when
First
I
of all,
tell
I
you.
grew up in a home where, and I grew up in the 80s where it was okay to beat the shit out of your girl. Like this mouth, I'd have probably been dead in a ditch somewhere the way I talk. Like, I would have never survived that era of relationships. So it was okay to beat your girl's ass. There was no people weren't getting locked up for domestic violence. Like, that was the normal. Like, if you seen your pop smack your mother into a wall and she walking around with a black eye for 2 weeks, like that's what it was. There was literally like so much, like we used to call it sprinkles. There was so many crack valves littered on the street that I lived in. The shit looked like sprinkles on an ice cream cone that you get from the ice cream truck. I lived in a tenement building. So it's not the projects, but I lived across the street from the projects. But it's like the
And
projects.
niggas is smoking crack all day right outside the door.
This is what it was. Like, I grew up in the Bronx where there were 3 abandoned lots on my block alone. Just on my block. Like, my
Abandoned
building
lots
was
mean
here.
like when you see war zones, buildings tore the fuck down, the stray dogs all over, niggas smoking crack, niggas smelling crack. No hope.
Right. So this is what I grew up in. So you're taught, hide your emotions, hide your feelings, only have, that tough exterior, because any inkling of any type of tenderness, could be used against you. So you have a problem with somebody, I'm not sitting here and talking it out and I'm telling you my problem, because now that makes me like I'm weak. When in all actuality, if you have a problem with somebody, you have an issue with something, you could sit down and let that person talk, and then you talk and you say, and the shit could be resolved like this. As long as y'all both doing this with each other, it's gonna always be met with force. And that's just how
Was it
I was
tight with
raised.
you and your moms?
With my mom, nah. Like, me and my mom got to where we are now with me being in prison and me literally having the time to sit down and think, all right, because I used to be mad at my mother because we grew up poor. I felt like it was her fault. I felt in my mind like I would never have a child, or I would never bring someone into this world and not be able to take care of them, not be able to feed them, not be able to make sure that they're okay. Like, so I just used to be angry with her when we didn't have somewhere to live, or when she was I felt like it was her fault. So anything that happened, like I just held it in, and we just always like butted against heads. When I went away though, and I seen how I had to be away from my son. I didn't ask to go to prison. I didn't ask for nothing that happened. Like, contrary to popular belief, you know, everyone thinks that anybody that's in jail is guilty, and everybody that's walking out here in the streets is innocent. Like, that's
a lie.
That's a lie.
But
you know,
big time.
Do you think that every court case that ever went before a judge and a jury, they got it right every single time? Like, so, you know, I didn't ask to be there. Like, certain situations and circumstances led me to be in a place where I was away from my son for 7 years. So I had to think now I'm thinking like a parent, like, damn, I didn't do this on purpose, but it's a possibility that he might feel like that. If he feels anything how I felt about the situations that was out of my mom's control, like, you think my mother wanted to be homeless? You think she wanted to, like, you know, be to where she couldn't support us, or whatever the case, or be with a dude that was doing her dirty? Like, it was certain things that she did just so we could have the life we live. So it made me look at her differently, and it allowed me to listen to her. Because before, my mom used to talk, that shit was a wall. Like, I'm not even hearing nothing you saying.
Sis, you beautiful, right? One thing, I'm gonna admit something, and I always, you know, sometimes I gotta keep it in, but I'm gonna tell you something now, because we having some of the realest talk. It bothers me every time I see the scar there. Yeah. How crazy was that for a sucker, punk ass motherfucker to cut your face?
Now you remember how that happened.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't gotta go in detail, but could you tell these people how it happened? Like, just a dude, like, name the scene of the crime.
I was going to visit my grandmother, who, like, she used to watch my son while I was working. I had just left the studio. I went to go drop off some groceries, and it was a dude waiting in the hallway. Like, it had been like some whole beef shit that was going on in my hood around that time.
Who cares? It was a man.
It was girls. I mean, it was me and girls. So I guess me with my whole, you know, eye for a life. You know, people know I always go to extent. They took it to the next level, and instead of sending girls at me because that wasn't working, they sent a dude in. And I'm gonna assume the objective was to make sure that he cut me. Like, and
of course,
at the end of everything, when I first got cut in my face, I was like on a rampage. Like, they was trying to lock me in the crib. Like, they had people watching, because every chance I got, I was like, yo, I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. Like, but I had.
For the record, we was out there.
It was
100 cars deep trying to catch the nigga. That fucking place was a ghost town. And she's in one of the realest blocks in the Bronx. But let me tell you, you could have dropped some quarters on the fucking floor. All you kept hearing was cars screeching around that whole project. Nigga, we was trying to tear something up. Niggas ain't come out to play.
But I'm glad that because it could have we'd probably all still not be here. Like, but I'm gonna tell you what, I used to look at myself in the mirror. I used to cry. Like, you're a girl. Like, this is right before we shot the lean back video. And I'm like, I got my video that's coming. I literally still was doing the Puerto Rican Day Parade. I still had my stitches in. And I saw a Dame Dash. And I had always used to see him, like, you know, in the studio or whatever. And I seen him, he was like, what happened to your face? What happened? What's going on? And I was just like, and I just like kept covering him. So he's like, leave. He's like, yo, you good? He's like, yo, that shit's gonna be part of your character soon. That shit is sexy. Like that. He's just like, he changed my whole way that I was thinking about it. He's like, no bitch got that. Like,
for
he was
a person
probably
to
gassing it, but
somebody,
it's definitely, he's one of the ones. They probably don't even know that.
Thank you, Dame. For a person to be a part of the immortal Terror Squad, right? We the realest crew in this shit. This is undoubtable. Niggas could be nobody's realer than us. It's just impossible, right? And when we got you, not just because of your rap skills, because when I first heard you, I was like, yo, she's the best bitch in the game ever. I was just like, whenever they test you, it's like you're born from the same cloth as me, Pun, the rest of us. Like, Did you ever feel one day like, yo, I was born to be down with these niggas?
I tell people all the time, like I'm a type. It's a certain type of people.
You know, people like keep that thought. I need you to answer that because I talk too much shit. Do you know that me and Remy could look at each other's eyes and tell a whole story in this motherfucker? Like, don't like who? The nigga with burgundy? Yeah, with the about to smack flames. Chill, Joe. Yo, the nigga on the left. Like, yo, we could talk a whole story without telling niggas. Like, we know each other that well, right? So when they tell you, do you feel like you was born?
Definitely. The thing is, the guys that I grew up a tomboy. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure that's easy to tell every now and then. But the guys that I grew up with were guys that were like you guys, or were guys that like the type of guys that you grew up with and that y'all hung out with. So when I met y'all, I'm like, yo, this is just like, I'm just like on my block. Like these is the homies. So I feel like a lot of times with women, they tend to, they like being the girl of the group. Like I was the girl of the group, but I wasn't the girl of the group. It was just like, you know, Rem did it again. What do we have to do now? But it was cool because I think with any other, if I would have been with anybody else and they wasn't like y'all, I would really probably just like run all over them, like really like terrorize them.
All over us, and we was how we is. Now you have. It took me years to figure it out. When I met Papoose and I said, oh my God, this nigga, he just love her and I love her. I said, she's diabolical, my nigga. Like this girl, she's fucking nuts.
No, this is the thing. I want to make sure that my guys, whether they're my brothers or my husband, or whatever, I want to make sure that they are always the men that they have been cut from a certain cloth to be. This our environment sometimes, it tends to make us act in ways that we normally saw. What I do habitat control. You know, I don't want them to ever conform to our environment. So what Joe was talking about earlier, where he's like, most of the things that he would get into, I'll be like, Joe, we can leave if you want to. I just want you to know that a week from now, they're going to say that you left and that the whole terror squad is pussy, and then you're going to want to come back and kill everybody. So just beat them up now and get it over with. And he'll think about it. He'll be like, you know what? You're right. So I was just making sure that they always stay in, you know, the mode that they were supposed to be in. That's all. But when things are all good and everything's peaceful, I'm there baking cupcakes and, you know, being nice
Really quick question. You got to shoot this a little bit faster, right?
Okay.
Donald Trump, at what point you realize he's a piece of shit? What was a defining moment for you to be like?
Probably like 10 years ago. Like
10 years?
I don't know. Like
president.
Like I mean, I knew before that happened. Like people act like they just finding out.
People don't know you way too smart. I was the first rapper on Dave Chappelle. You probably remember that. He got a segment called "When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong." Mm-hmm. Where did you keep it real that you felt like it went wrong? Will you kind of regret?
Keeping It Real Goes Wrong is a story of my life. I can't even pick one. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm the queen of
keeping it real goes wrong.
I just be sitting there like, oh man, this is gonna end bad. But I'm gonna say probably I'll go with when I got cut in my face.
Keeping it real, pushed it to the limit.
Because no, it's not that I pushed it to the limit, because I knew what type of environment I was in. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Let somebody try anything, anybody do like I was just on it like that when I could have just been
as real as we are. It's always, believe it or not, we don't want to admit to it, but it's a little bit different when you become famous and a rapper. And me and you were still trying to hold it in the projects like we them niggas from 5.
Those days is over. Like I can't even
we was
tell
doing
you,
that.
And that was the problem. That was the problem. I would still go in my pink Benz and
me as Fat Joe the rapper. I started a riot in my block with half the block that still love Fat Joe, and the other half who didn't know, a riot. Niggas stabbed in their ass, all type of shit. Like, Yo, because I thought I could still be out there. It wasn't to that moment I noticed, like, yo, my nigga, you can't wear chocolatas in front of
I'm gonna
1,000.
tell you, when I see some of these artists that come out now, and I look at it, and I see them with this huge entourage, and I see them hanging out with their jewelry and they car. Like what you have to, in their neighborhoods, what you have to understand is that there's gonna be some people that are happy for you. There's gonna be some people that are genuinely happy that you made it, you got the money, whatever. But there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers, way more, that hate your fucking guts. Every time they see your nice car, every time they see you pull up in some fly shit they can't afford, some jewelry, that hate your guts and will do anything that they can, even if it means bringing you down to pull themselves up, and they'll do
We
it.
gave you the realest talk ever. Please take our advice. Listen to the knowledge and the jewels we drop. Live from Coca Vision, Chapo's Tunnel. Me and my sister Remy Ma. She is the greatest out. Her new single,
Melanin Magic.
Melanin Magic is dropping. This right here, Coca Vision, only on TIDAL. 3 months free. You can subscribe. Subscribe is the key to this here right here. Get 3 months free.
Melanin
Peace to the
Magic.
people of
You gotta
TIDAL.
stream it, download it.
Pick It Up is the video featuring Dre of Cool and Dre. The album's gonna be ridiculous. The album's called Family Ties. Let's get it.
Always fly, I stay in the cockpit. I want it, I cop it. Open the door.